this one has to do, the Secretary of the Ministry of Environment has to do, is to take the copies and hand them over, put it on the next agenda of the National Board of Wildlife. He refuses to do it. He refuses to do this. We write several letters to him. No response whatsoever. And finally, we are forced to go and approach the High Court. And a High Court petition we filed last year. We filed that petition last year to just ask the High Court for a direction to ask these mining companies and the government to send all these environment clearances to the National Board of Wildlife as per the Supreme Court order. Now forget about it. We have got an order of Supreme Court. We are going to the High Court because in law, High Court is duty bound to implement the orders of Supreme Court. We filed a petition over 1 year ago. Till today, the High Court has not passed orders. Now, but this does not come in Shah Commission report. They have not passed. Now, there is a small internal story in this. What happens is, Ministry of Environment in 2011 comes to visit Goa. And one of the officers sees that Chief Wildlife Warden permission has been given to Mr. Pandekar Mines. So he immediately writes to Chief Conservator of Forest Goa and he said, look here, we have issued a clearance, wildlife clearance to Mr. Pandekar and Mines. You cannot do so because there is Supreme Court order. And he shows the Supreme Court order. Ministry of Environment writes to the Goa government saying that, see, I'm giving you some because this is a major chunk of Shah Commission findings. Ministry of Environment writes a letter to see that you have given this, you have to recall this order because it is in violation of the Supreme Court's order. So now the central government is writing to the authorities in the state government, and this is during Digambar Kamat's regime, saying that this order is issued wrongly. 1 month later, the same officer from the ministry writes to the Goa government saying, look here, this order which you have issued in relation to Bandekar is not only for Bandekar, it is for all mines in the state of Goa. All mines in the state of Goa. Our petition is filed in the High Court. It is pending hearing. We are asking for it to be heard, but it is not being heard. Bandekar gets an order from the Chief Wildlife Warden revoking the NOC. Revokes the NOC because Ministry of Environment has told him revoke the NOC. He revoked. The first mine when the NOC is revoked. Immediately Bandekar files a writ petition. Now Bandekar files a writ petition. I am sorry that this is all on film, so I don't know whether I will be hauled for contempt of court. And they put it up on the YouTube by this evening, so I don't know what to do. I am just relating the facts in court. Bandekar files a writ petition saying, look here, they have revoked my license alone, and there are so many other people who don't have Supreme Court permission, but they have not revoked their permission, they have only revoked my permission. Now, our petition is already filed and pending for 3 months. Bandekar files the petition, it goes into fast mode. And the petition is taken up immediately, and the government is asked how you have issued this order. Now the Ministry of Environment immediately corrects and files an affidavit saying that, see, this is not only for Bandekar, this is for all mines because this is in violation of Supreme Court orders. All the mines. It's not only Bandekar. The order has been issued first for Bandekar, but they are issuing orders for all the others also to close down. Nothing happens. The Advocate General of the state, Mr. Subodh Kantar, gets up and tells the court, this order which has been issued by the Chief Wildlife Warden of Goa, revoking his earlier NOC, stands withdrawn as of today. He tells the court, it is withdrawn as of today. Now, everybody is amazed, because the Advocate General cannot act for the government. He can advise the government, he can do whatever he wants. And his advice can be accepted or rejected. Government is not bound by it. But he gets up and says, it stands withdrawn as of today. And the High Court dutifully records. Though the High Court knows that the Supreme Court, implementation of a Supreme Court order is involved, the High Court dutifully records that the government states that the order stands withdrawn. The moment the order stands withdrawn, the Pollution Control Board restores the consent to mine. Restores it. The Forest Department refuses. Because the Forest Department knows what happened to the Forest Minister of Maharashtra and the Chief Secretary of Maharashtra. Everybody knows. So no forest official is willing to issue any order. So we said, let us do some mischief. So we filed another petition before the High Court saying that they have withdrawn the order in the case of Pandekar, but the order has not been issued by the Forest Department. Therefore, this order of the High Court is useless. We pointedly put a petition only on that ground, saying that the Pollution Control Board has withdrawn the consent, the Forest Department has not withdrawn the NOC. The NOC is required, the consent is given without the NOC. He has not revoked the NOC, but he has still gone ahead and granted the consent. Why? Because the Advocate General meets the Member Secretary of the Pollution Control Board in the corridor of the court and tells him, I advise the Chief Secretary of the state, and you are just a Member Secretary of the board, go back to your office and withdraw your order revocating consent and restore the consent all the way. But of course the relevant officer of the Forest Department was not there, so he did not get a firing. So he refused to withdraw the order. The order is not withdrawn. We filed this petition saying that the order is not withdrawn, and we tell the court also that your order is useless, it's an empty order, because though it says it stands withdrawn, it is not withdrawn. And we filed an RTA and we put all the RTAs saying that it is not withdrawn before the court. Put it before the court for the consumption of the court. This goes on because no officer is willing to sign. Finally, because we are pestering the High Court for them to produce the order, because we want to know the name of the officer. Because once we know the name of the officer, everybody knows what the Goa Foundation will do. We will go back to the Supreme Court and file an application for contempt. And they all know that this is what we are going to do. Nobody is willing to pass. Then what happens? Every time the matter comes up every 15 days, Mr. Kantak says, no, the order is being issued, it is being issued, it is coming, it is, we are going to produce a copy, but no order is produced. Finally, an order is produced 1 year later by the Chief Wildlife Warden saying that we have withdrawn our revocation order on instructions from the government by letter dated so and so. So we said, who has issued this letter? We find that the letter is issued dated 30th of May 2012 when Manoj Parikar is the Forest Minister of Goa. On Goa Statehood Day. On Goa Statehood Day. The state of Goa, as a sign of its sovereignty, has taken a decision to tell the Supreme Court to go to hell. We are issuing written orders that your order need not be implemented in the state of Goa. After that, 2 months later, in August, the relevant officer issues the order that we are restoring the permission we are given to Pandekar Hills. This happened somewhere on the 8th of August, and Shah Commission report is already issued on the 24th or 20th of March, already declaring all these mines to be in violation of the Supreme Court orders. All. There are 143 mining leases. Out of the 143, only 2 fall outside 10 crores.